Honestly, when we talk about like responsible space travel, is it not a little bit like responsible drinking? I mean, it would be better if we just didn't do it.
Of course, and this is a very common misconception.
Tower 9 Tango, contact tower 118.5, goodbye.
Zulu Alpha, reaching Bravo 1, enter and backtrack runway 26, vacate Alpha 2 for Alpha 1.
And backtrack runway 26, vacated Alpha 2 for Alpha 1, Golf Zulu Alpha.
You know, when you work in sustainable aviation, you feel a little bit like a time traveler. Walking around Farnborough, you see so many different technologies, and some of them are 10 years off, and some of them can actually be touched. So would you like to tell us a little bit about your company and also what we're stood in front of here?
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole purpose of the company was to really tackle the climate impact of aviation in as far-reaching way as we possibly can. We have sustainable aviation fuels, and that's a pathway to tackle some of the impact. But we want to think about how we can do it in the most far-reaching way and also the most scalable, practical way. And for us, that's fuel cell systems. So we think we can deliver true electrification with fuel cells. The only emission is water vapor. You use a fuel cell system to create electricity. Electricity powers electric motors ultimately, and they turn propellers.
Excellent. And so what we're looking at here is actually a fuel cell then. So these 4 banks here are 4 generators of electricity, you could call them all.
Yeah, exactly. These are 4 fuel cell stacks. We are basically, what we've done, the innovation here, is these are commonly used in automotive applications, these types of fuel cell stacks. What we've done is we've taken all of the apparatus that makes them operate and keeps them happy, keeps them with the right humidification, the right temperature, and gives them enough oxygen. Yeah, so keeps them happy. And what we've done is we've made it common across multiple stacks. And that reduces the weight, it reduces the space, and it therefore makes them relevant and now allows you to fly an aircraft on them. So we're already flying a prototype of this system and obviously the electric motors and propulsion system as well there. We're flying that in a prototype, and we've flown 14 test flights. So we're demonstrating this technology in flight. It's not just here on the stand, it's actually flight demonstration.
Flight controls are full and free, doors and windows, door lights out, takeoff brief is complete. You ready?
Zulu Alpha, runway 26, the wind 320, 5 knots, take off your discretion.
So we are building a full electric aircraft. It's a 9-seater having a range of 4 kilometer IFR. So on top of that, you have reserves to go to alternate airport and holding time and so on. And what we are really focusing on is the whole propulsion. So from the batteries, which we are doing ourselves in-house, the high voltage batteries, up until the distribution and the motors. So we are having a special concept into how to integrate it. So it's a multi-engine single propeller aircraft that would allow us to perform commercial flights too. Yeah.
Okay, and those batteries, they're actually integrated into the wing, like the fuel in a traditional legacy aircraft, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's a high wing configuration, and our core technology is really to integrate those batteries inside the wing. Which is more natural in an aircraft. Yeah.
And just remind me, was it 400 miles or 400 kilometers range?
It's a 400 kilometer IFR.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So that's going to get you easily from Frankfurt to Munich, but it's probably going to be Frankfurt to Paris as well, and maybe to Gothenburg.
Yeah, exactly. So we did the route analysis with our aircraft. So it's basically very efficient aerodynamically. The wings are very large. They are 24 meters, which is very high aspect ratio for this.
It's basically a glider with an electric propulsion, right?
That's it. It's a glider with an electric propulsion. So yeah, we can access almost all the regional aircraft because this 24 meters is basically the limit of operation of those small airports, let's say. And for example, even from Mannheim, we have 67 destinations that we can reach.
You guys are developing WindRunner, which I have to say, and I didn't say this to everyone, I think this is the coolest thing that I've seen at the fair so far. What are we looking at behind us here?
Well, what we're looking at behind us is the biggest plane that will ever be built. And we're building this plane to essentially supersize onshore wind. The challenge today is today's onshore turbines, 70, 75 meters in blade length. It takes a year and a half to plan to move just one blade from a manufacturing site to the wind farm. And the reason for that is if you've ever seen these big blades being transported, getting through tunnels or getting under bridges or getting around curves is extremely problematic.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing is we're supersizing onshore wind. And the only way to do it is to leverage an aircraft like WindRunner to do it. The unique thing about this, however, is it is 108 meters long. As I said, the cargo volume is 12x a 747, so it can carry a 105 meter blade, offshore size blades, for example, and it can take off and land on semi-prepared dirt strips at the wind farm.
Often you get to do an interview with a spaceport, with somewhere like an airport that you need to get rockets into space. Tell us, how would you describe a spaceport or your spaceport, Cornwall?
Well, so I would say that a spaceport is a platform and an organization that allows for partners, launch partners to get satellites into space. And what we're really advocating for is responsible launch, which I think is our niche, definitely our unique selling point. And we really want to be pushing the sustainable strategy and sustainable launch, and that's why we're working with horizontal launch partners rather than vertical.
Tell us, what's a horizontal launch partner?
Yeah, so horizontal launch is using an existing airport runway. So for example, like we saw 18 months ago with Virgin Orbit, they used a Boeing 747 with a rocket attached under the wing. But the likes of Space Engine System, who we've got behind us on our stand, they will be using a reusable, almost like a mini plane that is hydrogen propulsion, and that will be used to get the payloads into space.
So that's really amazing. So we're talking about hydrogen propulsion, so it's a sustainable fuel to get rockets into space, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is really, it's mind-blowing, isn't it? But
Absolutely.
honestly, when we talk about like responsible space travel, is it not a little bit like responsible drinking? I mean, it would be better if we just didn't do it. Is there any real use apart from, maybe, Netflix and good TV shows, but is there any real use of space? Is there anything that humankind benefits from in space, or is it just about billionaires sending rockets up to space to show off that they're billionaire rockets better than the last guys?
Of course, and this is a very common misconception. And I think that we are here to educate people, and we really want to change this narrative. 50% of all of our environmental data that we collect from Earth comes from Earth observation satellites. And these Earth observation satellites only have one way of getting into space, and that's through launch. So we obviously know that these satellites are important, and we know that they need to be in space, but what we need to focus on is changing the way that they get there. And that's why we are advocating for responsible launch at Spaceport Cornwall.